every case. You approach it like that's my little sister. I'm a mom, so I approach it like that's my child. And what will we do for our children? Everything. And we go in like we don't think. We just go because we need to rescue that life. And that's how it is. And that's why it's so beautiful you're doing what you're doing, and we're doing it together. And hopefully a lot of people will support and help us with this, because help is really needed.
And this is an emergency.
Tonight we can all make sure that we are the voice for the voiceless, that we share this, that those who are now in a state of emergency, who need to be rescued, that we hear them, because we will take action, and you can do your part with raising your voice, donating, spreading the message. Together we have the power to change.
So, Yolanthe,
Yes.
perhaps you could start us off. I would love to know, do you have any more information on how Manisha is doing now?
Oh yes, she's doing so much better. She actually studied the School for Justice, which is a program we started in 2017, and we offer the children to become like lawyers or police officers, social workers, so they can actually change the system from within, and it's very empowering. And you see all these girls turn into like boss ladies and like really making a difference in this world, and that's what she's doing too right now.
That's remarkable. Can you also tell us about the kind of story behind you founding Free a Girl in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah, so I myself grew up in an unsafe household. My father was a drug addict, and my mom and me and my siblings, we had to flee the country because it was very dangerous. So we went from Spain to Holland, and I actually, as a child growing up in that unsafe environment, I always knew like one day I want to do something for those children that don't have a voice, or people don't see them and they're so vulnerable. And when I was a teenager, I started to become an actress in Holland. And, I got so much more reach to people. And I was like, I want to use this for the better. And then some guy approached me and he asked me if I knew about the dark world of sex trafficking of children. And of course, I had heard of it, but I didn't know much about it. So he asked me, like, do you want to come with me and do an undercover mission in India? And I was like, yeah, I believe in the divine timing. I believe it came to me, and it's something I always prayed for, to, use myself to help children. So I was like, okay, let's go. So we went to India, and little did I know this was gonna be the time of my life that changed my complete life. Like, so we went to India, and he took me. We went undercover, so we had a whole story that we were like partners, and that we wanted to buy children from India and sell them in Amsterdam. So we went into this old dirty building in the middle of the night. There was no man. There was only man, no female. We went up in this building, and there was like four men in a room talking to us, and my partner was doing the word. Like, I had a hidden camera in my button, and my task was to film everything, so we had the evidence. I really didn't know exactly what was going to happen. It was actually a very unsafe mission, other than the missions that we do now. But okay, this was 17 years ago. So I was a very young girl myself. I was 22. So then we were waiting in there, and then the guys came in, and before I knew it, 10 girls of 9 years old lined up in front of me. And the guys were like, you can buy them. And
9 years old.
9 years old. And they were all looking at me very scared, trying to look appealing, to look like kind of selling themselves, because they told them to do that. And I was sick in my stomach. I was like, this can't be real. But I did what I had to do. I was filming them from left to right. And then my partner, out of the blue, said to the man, like, well, this is not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see like young children. And I remember thinking to myself, what are you doing? Like, these children are 9. And I thought, you're playing with our lives. What is this? And the guy started shouting. They brought the girls out of the room, and they closed the door. And now we were in this dark room, just the two of us. The 15 scariest minutes of my life, to be honest. He told me, you can never talk because you don't know if there's hidden cameras, if they're watching us, you don't want to blow up the mission. So those 15 minutes, they, it seemed like hours. When they came back in, they brought 4 little girls, 4 and 5 years old, standing in front of us. And The smallest one stepped forward, took the hand of my partner, put his finger in her mouth, and she asked him if he wanted her to go down on him.
Oh my God.
And that was the moment I thought I was gonna faint. My stomach turned around. It was very, I get like, every time I talk about it, sorry, it's hard for me because it's, that's something that will never, you will never get used to it. But I didn't blow up the mission. I was like, okay. So we left the room and we made a deal with them. And then in the days following up, our rescue team went in and rescued the kids. And I went back to Holland and I was a complete different person because I saw so many things. And I went on TV in Holland and I started talking about this. And I was like, yeah, this is my mission now. And then Free a Girl was born. I got her together, people, and we start talking and we said, okay, we have to fight for children that are trafficked. And there is, as we speak, almost 2 million children that we know of are being raped as we speak. And that's only the ones that we know of.
2 million.
2 million. There's way more. And, we are all responsible. That's how I feel. If you're grown up, you're responsible because we live on the same world. We all know this is not okay. We love our children. It doesn't matter whose child it is. We should love each other. We should take care of that kid like it was our own. So I feel the responsibility to create awareness and to fight for this. And I will do this till my last day on this planet. And that's a promise. And I was actually super lucky that Netflix approached me a year ago and asked me hey, can we make a reality show about your life? And to be honest, that was not something I was looking for because I'm an actress, I have my company, I'm a single mom. I was not thinking of a reality show, but then they said, you know what? We are one of the biggest networks and we want to show your charity. And that, then it was a no-brainer. I was like, wow, that they are willing to do this, that is massive. And then I said, let's go. So they have been following me for more than a year. And last month, the show was aired on Netflix, so you can watch it now. It's my name, Yolanthe, and stuff like this is in the show too. And that's the only way to create more awareness. Thank you.
Honestly, that story I'll never forget. That was wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Netflix show and the US exposure of this story, which is so important, Lara, as director of Free a Girl USA, can you talk a little bit about the expansion of Free a Girl into the USA and about the new initiatives you're working on?
Sure. Yeah, so Free a Girl was founded in the Netherlands in 2008 by Yolanthe Cabau, Evelien Holske, Arjan Erkel, and Roelof van Laar. They are not here. And in those 17 years already, we rescued more than 8,500 children. All of them are now healed, empowered, reintegrated with their families if their families are safe enough. Some of them follow the School for Justice. Others are part of the Freedom Fighter, of the Dream Fund, becoming freedom fighters. This is huge. This is making impact. With these rescues, we're changing thousands of worlds. We cannot change the world at once, but we can change thousands of worlds. The expansion to the US was in 2021 because we saw that the problem of child exploitation is not becoming less, it's growing, so we need to take global action. It's a local and a global problem that needs global awareness. And since one of the founders, Yolanthe, lives in LA, it really makes sense to make this step. So we started in 2021. We have offices in Utah, and we're not going to stop until our mission is there, ending child sexual exploitation.
Very well said. Lane, tell us a little bit about your foundation, your organization, Unit E, and how you came to be connected with Free a Girl.
Yeah, we started an organization called Unit E to empower and mobilize the everyday men and women to the front lines of human trafficking. So we work with organizations like Free a Girl to seek out the most severe and extreme pain that is happening to our brothers and sisters around the world. We just got done working on a case. It's still in progress, actually, in Southeast Asia. And, these these children coming from impoverished villages trafficked to the big city for American and European sex tourists, usually middle-aged men. They they come from areas like the border of Myanmar, where 80% of children drop out of school at 4th grade to go and work for their families, and those children grow up and become moms and dads. And so when a man comes to town from the big city offering a good paying job in this new dream life, they don't know. They don't know that it's going to look more like a literal nightmare.
Yeah, it's like they promise the children, and the parents will take your children, and after 5-6 months, they had the education, they come back and they'll make you so much money, and the people have nothing, so they're like, yeah, take my children, take my children. Little do they know they will never see their children again. So those are the children we rescue. And also with Free Girl, we rescue them, and we have them programs for them for after, to take care of them, of course. But we also do a lot of things to prevent. So we also, for example, in villages like that, we have like groups of children that do a theater show, and they show the other children in the favelas or in the poor neighborhoods, like, this is how they kidnap you. This is what they promise you. They do a whole theater act, which is so beautiful, because these are children that we rescued and now are creating awareness all over to protect other children.
In a way that the children will really understand.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Laura, can you speak to that a little bit as well? Because I wanted to ask you about some of the kind of societal structures that keep trafficking in place. And some of the reasons that trafficking is so hard to crack as a problem.
Yeah, I can. Unfortunately, child trafficking is a multi-layered problem. That's because of poverty. That's because of corruption. That's because of stigma, of cultural norms taking all place over the world, of gender inequality, and we need to fight that. It's also a problem of conflict, of climate change, of unsafe migration routes that all make these girls and women more vulnerable to trafficking and to false promises. This is multi-layered, but this doesn't mean that we cannot tackle it. We need to better the legal systems. We need to change them. We need to fight impunity. We need to make sure that we raise awareness so these societal stigma and these cultural norms are changed. We need to raise awareness so we spread the word and we can bring hope. Because eventually what you saw also in the video, what you see in Netflix, is it brings hope. These children, they find the courage again, they find the light again, and they will make the word bigger. They will fight the own system that once failed them through the School for Justice, through the Dream Fund. So that's hope. But yeah, it's multi-layered, and we have to see those layers to make sure that we understand the problem from a multi-layered perspective and then tackle it from there as well. We really handle a survivor-based approach, so we always look to the survivor. And what we now see is that the problem is growing online. So child sexual exploitation is taking place online. Children can be groomed from out of their own homes. So this makes also that we are changing our tactics, and that we're now established this international rescue team that is going to different countries. In countries that we do not have rescue partners with yet, we can now also bring up cases, and we can fight that. So together with Lane and together with our founder, of course, Yo, we also tackle it, the online sexual exploitation of children.
Yeah, I think today is super important, because creating awareness is one of the most important things, because still today, as we speak, a lot of people don't know about this. They've heard about it, but they don't know it's so real, and telling people is one thing, but like you guys now saw it, when you see it, it becomes real, and you understand, like, whoa, this is happening. This is my world. We're living now. We're living here. So this is my duty. This is all our duties, to do something about it. It's a little thing. Go home and tell your family or your friends, or if you have a lot of followers on social media, you have to make the people aware. Awareness is the first step, and then of course we will come to action. And we can do way more and more and more. And if you want to do more, please reach out to freegirl.com, and you can can see what else you can do. And, if you want to sponsor or whatever, that's like very welcome. But the awareness is super important. That's a message that we really wanted to get out there today, like we all can spread awareness. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming, for caring for this. And I just want to encourage you, when you leave today, it's so easy to hear these things and they feel so far away. We walk out and we think, gosh, that's really hard. I don't really know what to do about it. And then we all do it. We start thinking about, what am I going to get for dinner? I encourage you, when you walk out tonight, when you wake up tomorrow, don't let it go. It's real, and this is our family. And we're all called to have a bias for action in being some part of this. And like the girls that we see in this and that we work together with, like, those are our brothers and sisters. I believe in God, and I believe that the most important thing we can do with our 5 minutes on this planet is to believe that we're all family and to act like it. And I know if it was my sister, if it was my little 5-year-old sister that was being trafficked, I would sell everything. I would tell all my friends. I would get the next ticket. I'd be on a plane tonight.
Well, I heard somebody behind me saying, like, how old is the girl? The girl that we rescued from that bar that was lying about her age, she turned out to be 11 years old, so they make them lie. And she was raped so bad. She had a scar on her scalp from the back to the front because they almost murdered her. She had like all burning spots on her legs. She was, how do you call it, electroshocked. So, first she was very scared of me too because she didn't know me. She thought maybe she will sell me to the next place and the next place. It was the next day that she started trusting me, and she was like, oh, this is really a safe place, and she started telling me all these horrific stories. And Manisha, the other girl that you saw an interview with, the worst part, and I'm just going to share it with you guys because it is what it is. The guys raped her, 8 guys on the same time, and then she fainted. And when she woke up, her little vagina was gone. It was gone. She had to be like sued. It was all, she didn't see it anymore. So she explained this to me, and we didn't put it in the show because it's too much to show. But I can tell you, and you have to imagine being 11, and then you look at yourself and you're raped so bad that you can't see that anymore. You can't pee normally. She had to go to hospital. They had to sue her. And because it's so corrupt, they took her back and they kept her for 8 months in a dark room without a window. That's a real story. That's Manisha that you just saw, and now she's doing so good. So it's also so empowering to see, like they come from the darkest, the saddest, the most horrific place that you can be. And now she is like an example for other girls, fighting for other girls' lives. That's beautiful.
Can I ask you, in the film we saw, you mentioned that the camera people are, you hide their face, you don't want them to be recognizable. What about your safety, all of you? How do you protect yourselves? Are there any moments where you're, actually in serious danger? Because I was worried for you watching that footage. I thought, well, someone's going to come out with a gun any second.
Yeah, that's always a big risk that you take because you're dealing with the biggest criminals in the world, child traffickers. And you know that, and you try to prepare as much as you can, but you never know up front. Of course, we don't always look like this. We look very different. You would not recognize us. But in this case, I worked with the police together. It's still very risky, but because we were also filming to show it on Netflix, so I couldn't like show how they normally make me look like because then I will be in danger. But yeah, I've been definitely in situations where I thought I was gonna die, and I was really scared, and I'm for sure traumatized by that. But seeing the outcome of what we're doing is so much stronger that keeps me going. Like, let's go, let's go. We have to keep doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think of the phrase traumatized for action. It's like if you can repurpose that, we see terrible things today, a case that we're working on today, together today. I've been sent all kinds of terrible photos and images from a case that we're working on. And if we can repurpose that because we know how important it is. And it's natural as humans, right, to turn away from heartbreak. We see something or hear about something, even the stuff we're describing, we just go, I don't want to hear that. But when we turn towards it and our heart does break, action happens, change happens.
Yeah. And sometimes cases take a long time, you know, and we talked about that. We want to take action immediately, and we want those guys behind bars. And by the way, we locked up more than 2,300 men in all those years.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're coming for them. But you know, sometimes you have to be patient, and you go in and you start a mission, and it takes one of the missions is taking for 2 years now to, because it's a whole network. So you just don't go for one person, and you have to wait, and you have to, you know, it's very tiring, and it's painful, and it's like frustrating, but you know that you're looking and waiting for the bigger picture, you know, like you're going to rescue so many kids and then also prevent and you know, so many children to go into that.
Yeah, and also adding to this, you really need to build a case. So building a case needs a lot of evidence. And to build this evidence, sometimes you have to go in and then walk away to build the evidence and then rescue the child after. So this can be hard, but
That's the most difficult. You know, you have to walk away from children that you just saw, and you have to be patient because there's a whole team. There is, you know, legal stuff you have to go through. You know, you can't just, you know, take those children. No, you want to catch the big fish. So sometimes that's very difficult. You go back home, and I've one time stayed for 8 hours in the shower on the ground, crying for 8 hours in the shower because I was like, how, God, please, how? Those children are there right now, and I've seen it, and now I'm here, and but then later on, of course, you rescue them, and then you realize, okay, now we put that man behind bars, and he can't do it anymore. But it's really hard, you know, because you want to take action in the moment you see something that's not right. Sometimes waiting is for the better.
Well, I just want to commend all of you. I'm in awe of the work you do. And to all of your points, please let's share this information, get the word out, do everything you can to support this incredible, incredible initiative and everything that you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so
thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate it.